And there we go. Welcome to the ASM pod. This is breaking news. This is the breaking news special.
Breaking.
Taza khabar.
Taza
Uh,
cover. At least in MMA world, it's earth shattering. I mean, at least for me, I felt when I saw the news, I was like, damn, now this is what we thought of having originally, right?
the
Kaya
paradigm shift.
palat.
Kaya palat.
That-
Well, first of all, Vivek, thank you so much for jumping in. You taking time out of your schedule to just do this because of the love and the craziness of UFC 279 is the preview. This is going to be up Saturday night, so you can watch it Sunday morning for us in Asia and in Nepal. Uh, so let's jump right into it. The main event was Khamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. We were all looking forward to it. Everybody had their theory. This is again Nate Diaz's last fight on his UFC contract. It looks
Mm,
like he's riding out. We had
mm,
we had Kevin Holland versus Rodriguez. We had
mm,
Li Jingliang versus Tony Ferguson.
correct.
But now, and then let's go there. Then tell me what that backstage brawl. What do you know
Mm.
about that backstage brawl? What happened?
I knew the fact that since Nate Diaz, not Nate Diaz would not come,
Mm,
like with like couple of brothers. No, he would not, right? He would have his entire army, and
mm,
since you could see, he's got a bus now, right? He's got this private big ass bus which
mm,
could probably fit in 50, 60 people. So it would expected that he would come with his Nate Diaz army, and he came. And obviously, Kamzat being the gangster, right? The new gangsters, he knew that Nate would come with his army, so he had also had those 30, 40,
mm.
supporters with him. So
Who
when
already who
this
already
guy,
got into it with Paulo Costa, the PI?
correct, right? But prior to that, I think Kevin Holland had said some, shit about Kamza Shimaev that he's not the real gangster. He does it for the TV and TIP stuff like that. So he got offended, and that's how it all started, right? Between the Holland, Kevin Holland, and the Kamzat camp. And then when it was settled, and the Nate Diaz army came in, and obviously, those mad guys would go out to Kamzat camp, and that's all happened.
Uh,
It's all right. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm not too bothered about what happens at the backstage. I feel sorry for the event
yeah.
team who had done for the
Go.
conference meeting, but that could not go well. But all in all, blessing in disguise. Come on.
What happened? What happened, bhai? To be very
Yes.
honest, I think Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson is a better fight. Uh, Mainly because those two guys deserve each other. And I'm so happy. And Nate Diaz said this at the face off as well. He said, "I'm surprised it took this long for us to face off." Um, but
Yeah,
what's the
you're right. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
what's the updated card? Let's talk about the updated card. So now, because of complete shithousery,
Yep,
it's
yep.
it's the main event now. What is the main event? Is it Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson, right?
Yes. Diaz and Ferguson will collide for five round main event, followed by obviously Chimaev and Holland.
So
I
Shimaev
mean,
and
I
Holland go to the
yes,
co-main
the
event.
co-main event. Yes, the main event
So,
is Ferguson versus Nate Diaz, followed by the co-main event is between Chimaev
and what is Li
and
Jinliang
Kevin Holland.
versus Rodriguez?
Yes,
Oh my
yes, it's a
God.
catch weight bout. Now that's interesting, right? I mean, when you talk about this entire the original card, right? Mm, Ferguson versus what is this guy? Leach, right? Li
Li
Jingliang, right?
Jinliang, Li Jinliang, yeah.
I thought it was not a good matchup,
Mm,
considering that in the last fight, Ferguson like knocked out
yeah,
right by Chandler,
yeah,
and this guy had a an awesome fight. The Leech, right, after coming after a loss
yeah.
with
Thumbs
Chimaev,
up.
right?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was not a it was not a good matchup in my opinion.
Mm,
And although Nate has a lot of popularity, but I felt Chimaev was not the right fit for him. And he himself declared that it was never Diaz would go after Chimaev, but it was UFC that fixed the fight for him. So
mm.
it's good. Good. It happened last night, and when I saw the news, I'm so excited to watch this 279. Even
Yeah.
more excited.
So he misses though at the weight. Hamzat misses weight by 7 pounds, which is
Eight, eight and a
eight
half
pounds.
pounds.
That's
I,
enormous.
I mean,
That's
yeah, 171 is allowed permissible limit. So yeah, he actually missed by 7.5. Yeah.
which which I think, okay, this is me speculating, and Brett Okamoto
Mm,
hasn't said anything about this, but there were other reporters who were actually, after that scuffle that happened between,
mm,
it started between Khamzat and Holland backstage, and
mm.
then the Diaz team jumped in. Um, it looks like he went to Dana and he said, "Give me, give me Holland. I don't want Nate. Fix Nate with Tony." And everybody, all parties just agreed. I'm sure they're all getting good paid at the end of all of this.
See,
But
okay.
I've never heard
I get
reshuffle
it.
like this. I've never heard of a reshuffle like this ever
I
in the
think it
UFC.
has never ever happened. You see fighter reacting to it, and everybody is like, "Oh man, that this is something that hasn't happened in years of existence of MMA, right?"
Nope.
But I really like your kind of perception about the event, or perhaps the shuffling of the card.
Mm,
But I do believe that Kamzat did have issues in cutting the weight.
mm,
Just to give you a little story about it, I think he was cutting weight, and at about 4 a.m. in the morning,
mm,
the doctor said that it's not going the right direction, since he was cramping and
mm,
having some body issues, like, yeah, something like
mm,
that. So had it been 2010,
mm,
maybe doctor would have allowed Kamzat to continue cutting weight and probably make it by the morning.
mm,
But now these days, the doctors are also there to save the fighters. So they thought, no, you can't do it.
mm,
Just don't do it. And that's where the Chimaev camp told the Diaz camp, most likely, that let's go ahead and make this a catch weight fight.
mm,
My purse, I will give
mm,
you 100%, but let's fight.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
And the Diaz would not agree to that,
mm,
because he did not make weight, right?
mm.
Well, Nate did.
They
And
did,
that's
yeah.
where it all, like, fell into pieces. That's where
Uncle Dana.
Uncle Dana
Uncle Dana.
spoke with I think Joe Rogan, and
Mm,
maybe it's in the news that Joe Rogan kind of prompted Uncle Dana, why
mm,
don't you shuffle the card? And that's how it all went
mm.
through, I believe.
Wow, wow. I mean, let's get into the predictions there, because I just want to know these two. Like, I think between Shimaev and Holland, Li Jingliang versus versus Rodriguez is a great fight. I think Rodriguez takes that fight because he's a better boxer and he's a better striker.
He's got smooth hands. Yeah,
Yeah,
Rodriguez has got D-Rod has got smooth hands. However, you cannot
count
count out
out.
this guy.
No, Leach.
My
No, no,
God,
no.
this Leech.
He is
He actually was like, he knocked out, which was that? Yeah, beautiful striker. What was his name? Ponziniabbo. I think he kind
Ponziniabbo.
of
Ponziniabbo. The
he
guy
knocked out,
was
right?
undefeated for the longest time, Ponziniabbo, and
Yes, yes.
put him out. And I think the other thing about Leach is also that he has an extremely strong jaw, because I've seen him get hit a few times, and he just keeps coming. He just keeps coming
Obviously,
forward. He just keeps going.
he's
So
a
what's
Chinese monster. Yeah.
the Chinese zombie? So what's your prediction on this fight, Rodriguez versus Li Jingliang?
Knowing that Rodriguez, the D Rod, he's cutting weight to make it 180. It's a catch weight, right?
Yeah,
And Li Jingliang has been fighting at 170.
yeah,
So I feel the 10-pound difference will have some advantage as far as the power is concerned.
okay.
I feel it's probably going to be a decision. It's going to be slugfest, and possibly D Rod takes it away. Decision, 3 round.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'm gonna pick Rodriguez also, because, and I'm gonna pick by knockout, because I think people are sleeping on, like, he's had a string of mixed luck, Rodriguez. But
Hmm.
the matches that I've seen, the bits that I've seen, he's amazing. He really is on his feet. He is. I really like him. I really like him. So let's
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but just a thought about Li Jingliang. He knocked out, what was his name, Salikov, in the last fight,
Mm,
and that guy,
Muslim.
a
Yeah,
monster himself, right? He
yeah,
was
yeah,
never
yeah.
knocked out.
Yep.
He was like cleaned by Leach. So he's got power. So let's see. Let's have a good time.
It's gonna be a good one. Let's go to the co-main event, which is Khamzat versus Holland. This is a grudge fight that they're gonna kill each other now. This is what they wanted. This is what both of them wanted. They probably want to take their gloves off.
Right. But if you look at the matchup, right, Kevin Holland has zero
Zero
wrestling.
wrestling. Zero wrestling.
Kevin Holland has zero wrestling, which means if Kamzat decides to take him down, not fight like what he did against Gilbert Burns, it's gonna be a tough night for Kevin Holland.
I don't think he's gonna take him down.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? With Kamzat, right? Ego, right? So if he does not listen to his coaches anymore and he does the stand-up game, it's gonna be even because Kevin Holland's got smooth hand, man.
I remember that last fight with Gilbert Burns. His coaches are screaming at him. What are you doing?
Yes. They were asking him to feint a jab and come with a straight, but he was like not listening. He was just going wild, throwing kicks at him.
I think he's an emotional. I don't know if this is a 5-round fight or a 3-round fight. I don't know.
It's gonna be 5. You know what? Now there was this condition whether you want to have this fight. First of all, Kevin Holland and the team did accept, and they said that let's make it 5, brother. You know why? Because he kind of gassed out in the last fighting with Gilbert Burns. So Kevin Holland thinks that if he has to have any advantage over this guy,
he's to outlast.
It's got to be 5 rounds. Yes. Let's see. It's interesting. It's interesting.
This match 100% stays on the feet for me. I think Khamzat has more power than Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland might be more slicker with his in and outs, but yeah, but Khamzat is too emotional.
What's your prediction then?
I think Khamzat still wins.
Okay.
But either he wins brutally or something unexpected happens.
Okay. Any round prediction?
Khamzat by KO, round 2.
Round 2.
No.
Is it like a clean stand-up KO or is it ground and pound?
No, he'll do what he did to Gerard Meerschaert. He'll put you against the cage. He'll push you against the cage. You know what he does? He pushes you against the cage, and then he goes slightly below, and then he comes up and he throws his right hook. Boom! Connects right to the chin, and it's a chin. You can only take that much. So Kevin Holland, as much as I love Kevin Holland, he's so much fun. I think Khamzat takes this. What do you think there?
Knowing how Khamzat fights, the fight is leaning towards Khamzat, right?
Yeah.
So same as yours, right? Second round, most likely ground and pound, I feel. I don't feel he's gonna do that, the stand and deliver stuff. He's probably ground and pound him. However, we should not underestimate what Kevin brings to the table, right? He's got that smooth and like he buckled up Mr. Buckley, right? If you remember that. Right?
My son, that's what he calls him.
Oh yeah, my son, right? So it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think those were the guys who actually had a lot of fights, with a very short span of time last year, perhaps during COVID, right? So there were talks around, Kevin Holland and Khamzat. Now Khamzat shot up, like his value really went up high with certain performances. I feel Khamzat is gonna win it. Second round TKO, ground and pound. And I don't see Kevin Holland knocking out Khamzat because Khamzat took some heavy shots during Gilbert Burns fights and he did not go down.
No, went straight ahead. Okay, then we got that. I think we both got Khamzat on the board. Then we go to the main event. Mr. Nate Diaz versus El Kukui. El Kukui.
This is tough one.
This is gonna be brutal, right? His eye is gonna be split open in the first round. Yeah. And
that's the problem that he has, right?
What's your prediction there? What's gonna happen?
It's tough, man. It's a tough one because we never expected these two would be fighting 279, right?
I went to bed at 4 in the morning yesterday because I had a show. And everybody was jamming. I was with Binayak Dai, Deep Shamsher Dai. Everybody was jamming fun. Then I went to my friend's place, and I come back home in the morning at 6 in the morning. I just walk here, take a little morning walk, and I come and I open like my phone, and the first thing it says is major reshuffle on the UFC 279 card, and it says Nate Diaz
Yeah.
versus Tony Ferguson, and they show the face off.
Yeah.
And I go, what? Did I slip into a parallel universe? How much did I drink last night? So
Yeah.
you have to also realize that Tony's coming off a string of bad luck, and just
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
loss after loss after loss. Now, do you think that in this fight he actually gets to show, because you have someone who's gonna come, who's gonna fight him, go toe to toe with him in Nate Diaz? Do you think you will see that old El Cucuy, because he was doing good in that Chandler fight? Let's not take that away from him. Round
Hmm.
one was definitely Tony Ferguson, and now he goes up a weight class, and now he's fighting Nate Diaz. Like, break this down for me. What do you expect out of this fight?
So Ferguson likes to play in the pocket.
Hmm?
Okay. Uh, and it does not, you know, kind of surprise me if he gets hit by Nate Diaz,
Hmm.
gets rocked, comes back, tries his, guillotine or rear naked choke. I think Darce choke, right?
That's
That's
it.
what he's
Yeah.
good at. I feel that Ferguson is gonna take it. Uh, Most likely, Darce fourth round, bloodied Nate Diaz,
Hmm.
bloodied, Ferguson. And reason why I'll tell you, mm, Nate fighting his last fight
Hmm.
probably wants to cement his legacy by a W. Okay,
Yes.
I don't feel Nate is lying a knockout over
Hmm.
Ferguson, but in order to Ferguson to make a statement,
Hmm.
he's probably eyeing for that finish. So while we are sleeping on Ferguson, I feel Ferguson might take it round four,
Hmm.
Darcho.
That's true. Nice.
It's a tough one, huh, by the way.
I'm just imagining, like, I'm just picturing those two when that match starts, and DC always says,
Yeah.
I've got butterflies in my stomach. And I feel it too when two fighters are about to face off. Uh, that's with these two. I think Nate Diaz takes it there. I think this goes
Mm,
all 5 rounds. I
mm,
think they're going to absolutely massacre each other. Both going to be bloodied, split open. They're going to be elbows and slaps and punches.
mm,
This fight might go to the ground in the third round, just to
mm.
mix things up. Uh, but like, Nate is not a big knockout artist. He can catch you on the ground, but
Yep.
Tony's just as good on the ground. Tony's no joke on the ground. You saw what Charles Oliveira did to him, and he was still,
He would not
he's
give up.
he
He
was
would not
still he
give up.
was still there. I think he was only submitted by Dariush. I think Dariush was the guy
Yeah.
who submitted him.
Who?
Dariush.
Tony
Uh,
Ferguson. Ferguson. Tony
yeah,
Ferguson.
yeah, he had the ankle pick on him. Isn't that how he
Is it?
finished him? Yeah, yeah. You have to
Uh,
watch that Dariush fight. That Dariush fight was so
wow.
crazy. That's how I remember it.
Wow.
I may be wrong. I may be wrong, but I remember the ankle pick.
No, I don't.
Let me just check.
I've
We got it.
never seen this guy
Let me.
Ferguson
Uh,
getting submitted. Let's see. Let me quickly look at it.
yeah, I'm just
He's a
gonna
oh god.
fight fans. You gotta wait up for this. I am just
Nope.
no
Nope,
right. What
man.
happened? What happened? What happened?
No, he hasn't been submitted. No, he
Right.
hasn't been submitted by Dariush. Okay, the submission loss that he had was back in 2009, and yeah, 2009 triangle choke.
Yeah.
Later on, after his tremendous streak of winning
Wow.
fights, he then lost four on trot. Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Dariush was a unanimous decision.
Oh, it was a decision, right? Oh, he had him on an ankle kick. That's how I remember. But
Yes, it was close. It was
yeah.
close. It
this
was,
guy, this guy is like Tony is so durable, right? And now I am most certain that this fight is a bigger fight than Khamzat versus Nadir for me. I
absolutely.
because
I never liked that fight. Kamzat versus
yeah,
Diaz. I never liked it.
it was more of a lamb to a slaughter sort of a fight before this, because Khamzat was better than Diaz in, I mean, maybe cardio, Nate has it, but everything else, Khamzat is
Yeah,
just,
a prime Nate would have given a little bit
yeah,
of trouble to Kamzat.
mm,
That's the difference. Now he's probably past his prime.
yeah,
Looking for that last up, fight,
yeah,
fighting for UFC. However,
mm,
with all the shuffling happen, all I feel is nobody is at loss except Kamzat.
mm,
If Lee Jingliang wins,
mm,
good for him. If D Rod wins, good for him because
yeah,
this was never a matchup to
no,
start with, right? So
no,
whoever wins is gonna be held like, oh, you know what, you did well, and even the loser will get some credit.
yeah,
Now moving on to the
exactly.
co-main event, if Kamzat wins, people will say, this is expected because
You were
he's
supposed to
got,
win.
yeah, you're supposed, right? If Kevin Holland wins, okay, wow, man, you just turned everything upside down.
His stock goes.
However, people will not, bash Kamzat except the weight cut
Mm,
because he had to fight a guy at the very last minute, right?
yeah,
So losing to a guy as a last minute replacement, you can never blame any fighter,
absolutely.
right? And the last one, my God, if Tony wins, Nate Diaz still our favorite, my favorite. I'm sure yours as well.
Yes, absolutely.
If Nate wins, what a legacy that he had with UFC and everything.
Right up in
And
the
Tony
sunset.
is still a guy because he took this fight in a 1 day notice, right, as a replacement to what
So,
he was
as
supposed.
that's a very good point. That the only person who is a loser here, if I mean, if
He's still a
who
loser.
loses,
I feel he
yeah,
acted a little bit
yeah, it's
more than,
because he is getting out of hand, so to speak,
yeah,
now,
yeah,
and he needs a good management team now to sort of tell him, yo, if you
yeah,
want to make it to the big leagues, you don't need to John Jones yourself out of this. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
He's like
and
the Chechen Conor McGregor, little bit
Chechen.
arrogant,
Yeah.
little bit arrogant, and he thinks that he can finish everyone. He's a good person. I mean, he's a good fighter, no
Mm,
doubt about it.
mm,
Uh, I think this 279 was probably meant to glorify Kamzat,
yeah.
and after beating Nate and stuff like that, right? Because that's the gangster fight, on papers. But now Kevin Holland coming to the picture. Let's hope Kevin Holland does a miracle and probably,
And turns the whole thing upside down
yeah,
again. Again.
yeah, something like a choke,
Ah.
like Kamzat tapping.
Ah. The whole world is turned on Kamsat. Like even I feel sort of like I don't like him as much as I did before. Like he is, I don't
No,
know.
he's fine. He's fine. I think that weight cut kind of put us off because we
Yeah.
did not know the story behind it. That too, and he started and acting a little arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good on him. I hope he does well. And
Well, listen,
Kevin Holland comes
thank
at
you
tapping.
thank you so much for jumping in. You know who I'm really looking forward to is
Yep.
Shafkat. When Shafkat comes up on the next card,
Ooh.
that's a boy that welterweights people have to look out for. That man is no
Yes.
joke. Have you seen that
Ye-
clip of him getting knocked out and then coming back and winning the fight?
Is it inside UFC?
No, no, it was
No,
before
no,
UFC.
no.
Like he's
Yeah, because he
he
hasn't been touched well in UFC.
no, he
He's been
hasn't.
touching guys.
He's been touching guys, but nobody's touched him yet. Like,
Yes, yes.
thank you so much. I just wanted to make this a short, video so everybody could listen to this as well. I'm gonna send this to my UFC circle so that they also sort of get hyped for tomorrow's event. This is gonna be up Saturday night, and we've got a special thumbnail for this one as well.
Yeah, you know what? Before we leave, right?
Yeah,
We should also remember there's the opener, the
yeah,
main card opener.
yeah.
You know,
Kutilaba and Johnny Walker.
versus
Johnny Walker. Yeah,
that's gonna be banger.
that's gonna be a banger there because Kutilaba has a point to prove after losing his last fight, and Johnny
So
Walker,
does.
bichara Johnny Walker, he was hyped up
Yeah,
so much. He was hyped
bichara
up
is the
so
word.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was hyped up
he
so
was
much.
he was the next John Jones beater, but kind of derailed by what? Who was it? Fought against Anderson,
Yeah, I forgot that the
Corey
whole
Anderson,
this knockout, you all a knockout.
and then Jamal Hill. kind of
Jama,
knocked
oh,
him out.
Jama,
Yeah,
that boy can play. We'll talk. We'll do a later one about the light
sure,
heavyweight
sure, sure,
division. Right, that's getting very
sure,
good.
sure.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you everyone. This is the ASM Pod MMA Talk, the only MMA podcast around. I wish there were more, but for now, this is it. Also, in the next few weeks, I might be traveling, and we might do some special podcasts from outside Nepal as well, and we might get some black belt jiu-jitsu BJJ guys also on this. So I'm gonna roll with them pretty soon, like in DC. Uh, so
Wow.
let's see. Maybe we'll get an interview with them as well and how they're doing. All right, Dai.
Cool, cool. All
Thank
the
you so
best.
much. Thank you so much, Dai.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care, ASM.
See you
Bye.
guys later. Bye bye.